Good evening. Oh, excuse me. It's 7 o'clock. Good evening. Oh, good evening, Philippa. Hello, my lovely. How are you? I'm Brian.
Hi, Brian.
You got your buddy. Oh, hi, Julie. Hello, lovely. How are you?
Hi, Julie.
Good evening, Christine. Oh, do you like my jumper? Yeah, it's got eyes, look, and it wiggles. Hi, Ryan. Hi, Irene. No, I'm not shimmying. Oh, my lordy lord. No, they'll go straight off. Good evening. Oh, you're looking forward to oh, there he is. Brian's in the house. Yeah. Yes, I'm afraid the Christmas jumpers are all on the go now. Yes, we've got several. Mark's not got his on this evening. He's got his Guinness jumper on. Good evening, Pat.
Mucky today.
Oh, thank you, Julie. I was going to put my little... I've got a shiny dicky bow as well with some fluffy bits on it. Oh, I wore it yesterday. Oh, good evening, Jax. Brian, he's got his Guinness jumper on tonight. I wore it yesterday to the... good evening, Samantha, to our Christmas get-together. And by the end of the day, it was like, oh. Good evening, Joanne. Good evening. Oh, we're getting lovely amounted. Thought everybody would be busy with all the Christmas stuff. But then again, you might be just wanting a little bit of a break from it, actually. Hi, Shelley. Hi, Susan. Oh, it's lovely that everybody can be with us this evening. This is my last...
penultimate, is it?
Well, it's my last live for Julie this year. I know. Oh, good evening, Andreen. Good evening, Andrea. Brian. Oh, want to see my Bros Guinness jumper? Well,
it's an old one.
It's a bit of a scruffy one, I've got to say. Marion, good evening. We're just talking jumpers. It's got this old Guinness sweatshirt, Brian. Good evening, Ruth. Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh no, Pat. Oh no. She's poorly.
Nothing we gave her then,
oh dear. I do hope it's nothing you caught yesterday. Oh my lord. I'm fine. You fine, Mark? Well, as good as it gets.
There's no telling.
Oh, lovely lot in. Smashing. Right then. So I'll start. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Pat. Yes, so it's got a really, really nice Christmas Guinness jumper. And I tell you what, Brian, what I'll do is I'll take a picture of it. It's a brilliant Guinness jumper.
Yes.
And it's a Christmas one. I think Kate brought you it couple of Christmases ago. And it's a really nice one. So I'll take a picture. Good evening, Alison. We're just talking jumpers. Yes. Anyway, I'll get turned. Oh, hi, Jean.
Hi, Jean.
Oh, bless her. Now then, everybody needs to send all their love to Jean this evening because Jean's she's got a new knee. Yes. She's got a new knee for Christmas.
Did she have that on a list?
She's had it on a list for quite a while. Yes. She's been on a list for quite a while. But you're doing really well, aren't you, Jean? And it's lovely to see you. Yes. Carol. Hi, Carol. Hello, lovely. Right, I'm going to turn this camera around and show you, well, definitely 2 that we're going to do this evening. And maybe if I get on with the 2, then possibly another one. We'll see. We'll see. Hi, Sandy. Just caught us just before we turn it round. Okay, my lovely. Just bear with us. Oh, it's a bit
stiff tonight. There we go. We're in.
Lovely. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see and everybody can hear. Okay, I have got it on a full blast. And I shall try and make sure that you can hear me okay. We see okay, Mark?
Yep.
Mark's got the laptop the other side of the room, and it's fabulous when he does that, because, as you know, I'm really rubbish at trying to do and read at the same time. It's not because I'm not able, it's because my glasses don't do both. Right, okay, so I promised you some pattern building this evening, and that is what we're going to do. Now, I will say, as soon as I saw the new stamps from Julie, the minute that they dropped onto my, that I opened the parcel, the first thing I thought about was pattern building. So anything that you've got with a straight edge on a stamp, I mean, you can do it with other stamps, but it's not quite as straightforward, and you do need to make a lot of pencil mark grids and things like that. But with a straight edge stamp, whether it's hand drawn or not, obviously Julie's are hand drawn, and with the hexagon, because it's got 6 sides, octagon is 8. With either a hexagon or an octagon, you can do the same thing, because basically all you need is either a straight edge to bring everything together, or the point of the straight edge. Okay, now I won't say I'm an expert in this, but I do like to play around and fiddle around with stamps and see what else you can get apart from the obvious. And but I must admit, I think there is no question in my mind that these stamps will be one that sits on my table an awful lot, because not only because they are so they will go across the every genre and every occasion, I do think, but you know, they just will they will just work with so many different ideas. Right, so definitely we're going to do these two. Now this one I actually did, and I'm not kidding, I actually did about 6:15, because I really wanted to do one that had got the aperture in the middle, but I really wanted to do these two as well. So if I crack on and actually go through one by one what I've got, hopefully we should be able to get to the blue one if we can. But I must admit, it was a very much off the cuff idea, and I do think that it could be maybe tightened up a little bit, so we'll have a little look at that afterwards. Right, so I'm going to go with this one first. So this one you could say is a little bit of a cheat one, because I could have stamped, and I absolutely you could have stamped these straight onto your card base, which is actually a 7x5. Got a 7x5 card blank there, and you could, no problem, stamp them onto the 7x5. In fact, should I do it? No, I'm not going to. It's not because I'm frightened of making a mess, but it actually works like this, and it's still pattern building, even if you're actually stamping the image and then actually, I'm sorry, let me just roll my sleeves up. I'm not used to wearing big, long, thick jumpers, but anyway. Right, so I am going to stick with the same method, but you could go straight onto the card and make it flush if you wanted to. But the thing is, because I've got a white background and I've got white squares with obviously the stamping on top of them, then it does very much blend as well anyway. And it's only this one that I've actually brought up slightly to actually just define one of them, but you don't even have to do that. Okay, I'll show you as we're going along. And then of course we've used my favourite of all time, stencils, stencil on the back. Now I did make one like this for when we were actually doing the designs, so you will have seen this one, and you will have seen the next one. But I just thought it really would be quite useful to show you how, you know, go through it with you. And I'm sure if you are a seasoned stamper, you'll easily be able to do this. It's not difficult at all. Now, so for the squares, we're going to be using the Blooming Gorgeous A6 stamp set. The Blooming Gorgeous A6 stamp set is the squares. So you've got the two designs of the squares, which is fabulous because of course you could. I'm just using the one stamp tonight, but you could alternate the stamps, no problem at all. That would be rather lovely. But for this particular design, you would need to use the same size, which these two are. And of course, you have got that smaller one, which is, I just love this one. And I did actually use this one an awful lot on my design team samples, because I do think that this one has got a lot of mileage. This one, you could use it as a filler stamp if you wanted to, but I do think it makes the most gorgeous backgrounds as well. Quite subtle. So of course it could be a masculine card as well with that. I mean, any flowers can be masculine card. I don't agree that you can't give flowers to men anyway. So so that's that one. But also on this set is this absolutely, I'm going to turn it over because you can see this beautiful stamp, and the size, if you don't have this one, the size of this one is actually 5.5 inches in length, which I mean is just fantastic. And again, there's so many things you can do with this one, and so many different techniques of stamping as well. But of course, it's just gorgeous on its own. So excellent value for money.
Hilary and Wendy's just come in.
Oh, hi Hilary, hi Wendy. Good evening. I hope it's not too horrible where you are. It's a funny old one here in Lincolnshire today. We've got that mizzly rain, if you know what I mean. I don't think that's a Lincolnshire term, but mizzly rain. It's horrible. It's that rain that gets you really wet really quick and you don't realise. If you know what I mean. Right, I'm just grabbing a piece of card here because I have actually got my squares already stamped, but obviously we're going to do a bit of stamping because that's what it's all about this evening. Oh, that's my next card. Right, so I'm going to use this stamp here, and then this one is going to be for my next one. All right, so we're going to use this stamp, and basically you're going to use the same stamp each time.
Francis and Sue's just come in.
Good evening ladies, thank you for joining us. Right, so I'm using VersaFine Claire. I'm using an assortment of colours. Now I also want to point out that in the hexagon set and also in the square set we have got corresponding dies. Now for the squares, the corresponding die set, sorry, I've just been not in the right, it's not all tidy, let me just do it tidy. I have got one of the...
Reading's cold as well, says Rick.
Is it cold? It's really cold. It's 7 degrees here. So this one also belongs to it, but I've just put that to one side because I'm going to use it in a minute. So this is your Dinky square. You do get, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different squares, but also I think you've got more than that really, because what you have also is you will have the inside of this one and also the actual frame of this one as well. So in essence you've really got 7, haven't you? So again, I look at it like that. And this one as well. This one will cut out the actual aperture, and this one will cut out the scallop as well. So so you know, you need to look at your dies and see how they work. And what I do with a brand new set of dies, when I get them, I just cut them all in some copy paper, and then I can see exactly what they do, exactly how they're cut, and then play around with various ones to see which ones go with which ones and put one in the other. And I find that's a really good tip if you haven't done that before, just cut your dies, especially when you've got them in a set like this. Cut them all and then just have a little bit of a play and match them up, see which ones go with which ones, rather than doing it on decent cardstock. So the Blooming Gorgeous set is the Dinky Squares. Okay, so we've got our stamp. Like I say, I have got quite a few already done. In fact, there might be enough. Might need a little bit of this pink. So I'm going to use the Charming Pink. I've also used, I'll tell you which ones I've used. I've used the Bluebell. I think I used the Paradise. I also used this Hawthorn Rose. It's not the strongest of the VersaFine Clairs, but it is a really, really pretty colour. And it is really worth, you know, stamping a few in not quite such a bright colour, so you've got that variation of tones, and also the Tulip Red, which actually is one of my favourites, and then the Summertime. So, but obviously you use what inks you've got, whatever you like to use, you do whatever you want to do. I've used a permanent, they are actually, as you know, they are a pigment ink, they are permanent, they dry quite quickly. But what I love about the VersaFine and the VersaFine Clair is that they get all the exact detail. And of course with Julie stamps there is an enormous amount of gorgeous detail in every single stamp that you get. So I think if you've got a good quality stamp, you need a decent quality ink, okay? Ink that you get on your fingers straight away, because obviously they were far too clean. Right then, so I'm going to just stamp that out, and you can see exactly how easy and how gorgeous that stamps. Now you will see, this is obviously, you can see that they've all been hand drawn, alright, that Julie's done, okay, which I absolutely love, the fact that they are hand drawn. I wouldn't expect anything else from our lovely Julie, who's super uber clever with her gorgeous designs. So I'm going to do 2 of these because I think I need a couple of these just to go in with the pattern. Now you will notice I'm not embossing them. I don't need, if you're really super man quick, you can emboss the VersaFine Clair. Okay, so you've got that little tiny window that you can do it. But it will dry quite quick in a nice warm room, so be aware of that. And then, so you can emboss them. I haven't embossed them because, to be quite honest, I didn't feel that I needed to. Alright, so I'm going to just cut those out. Now, of course, obviously, you can cut them out using the dies. So that's what it's all about. And this is the actual die. If you put that one over that one, what it will do is it will cut that inside one out. If you take this one, which is the next one up, it will cut that one with a gorgeous white border around it, which is absolutely fabulous. But what I decided to do was, just in case you hadn't got this set, well, I must admit, if you haven't got this set and the next set that we're going to show you in the dies, I would strongly recommend that you do save up for them, because they are such a superb set to have. Now, I know I'm just cutting these out and you might think, well, what do I need dies for? But it's not just the fact that I'm cutting this square. You've got the scallops, you've got the frames also that go with them. It's a super all-rounder. It really is. Okay, so I don't willy-nilly recommend things just for the sake of you buying them, because I must admit I am a careful crafter. Even though I'm in the business, obviously, I am very careful about what I buy, when I buy it, and what I can use that item for. And if, I know I've said this before, and if I cannot find a good few reasons to actually use a stamp or a set of dies, I don't buy it. I don't buy it just because. It's all well and good. I mean, obviously, if I win the lottery, I might do, but the chances of that are very slim. Right, so I've opened my card up just to show you. Obviously, we've got that we've got the 7x5 size, which is fabulous. Now, so what we need to do, we need to start with one whole square. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which colour.
Brian says the dyes give you a great edge too.
They give you a fantastic edge. They do, Brian. Honestly, they give you the most spectacular edge, and I do. That's why I would highly recommend them. I really would. But what I wanted to do was to show you both, really, that you know, if you just can't afford to get the dyes at the moment, don't be put off by not having the stamps, because you can actually you know, manage for the time being without them. Right, so I'm going to pop that one. Now, I'm not measuring, but I'm just going to sit that one there just for a minute, and then I'm going to take another colour and just sit that one just there for a minute, so that I want to just bring that down a bit, because I want that one, that edge to actually sit on the top there. Alright, so I want to know where my middle's going to be, and then I want to put another one underneath that one. So I'm just looking at what colours I've got and what have you. Now, if you need to just nip the ends off, then that's absolutely fine on the bottom. It's not a problem. You know, you're not going to spoil the pattern of the stamp. So basically, what I know now is that my middle square, this blue one, is in the right place. So I'm just going to take that out and then pop a little bit of glue on it.
Penny's just popped in.
Oh, hi Penny. Hi Penny, thank you for joining us. Now, so, it doesn't matter. I mean, it depends on how you feel. Some people like everything to be formal and to be actually exactly the same when you are doing pattern building, as in the same direction of the main piece, the main feature of the stamp. So for instance, if we take this, the largest stamp of the actual square, and pop it in like so, I could just do that one like that one, and of course that one square's just there. It wouldn't bother me, but some people like to have everything all in the same direction, which is absolutely fine. You know, we're all different, and it's a jolly good job that we are. So this one would actually be like so. So what we'll do is, I didn't do it with the last one, but I'll do it with this one so that we've got a slight comparison. It would annoy some people, and that's absolutely fine. I'm a little bit laid back, unless of course the line's not straight, and then I would really not be quite so laid back about it, because I can't abide not having a straight line. But the patterns, I don't mind, quite free with it really. Right, so we'll make sure that we actually put that one in the right direction. Let's see how many I can get wrong then. No, I won't, I'll concentrate. There we go. So let's make sure we've got that one nice and straight. Fantastic. So we've got our 3, and now we can actually build out. The only reason I chose the 7x5 is because it worked well. If you want to go bigger, then obviously you just keep building either side. We're not going to do any of this until the end. We're going to just do a couple more. We haven't got an orange yet, so I'm going to put the orange there. I didn't really want to put the orange with the red. Clashes a little bit. Doesn't really matter, but it does clash a little bit. Let me get that straight, make sure it's in the right way. There we go. So pop in that one. Oops, a daisy. Ooh, pop that in there. It'll just sit in there nicely. Just twist that one around a little bit. That's it. There we go. That's that one. And then what we'll do is we'll put one of these really nice hawthorn roses in that bit. And again, make sure it's the right way. So don't worry about this bit. We're just going with the whole pieces at the moment. Now then, what we're going to do with this one here. Let's have a little look. I have got a darker blue. Now this darker blue is actually a new one, a newish one, medieval blue. I might go with that one. Oh, sorry about that. A familiar sound, Philippa and Brian. Nothing to worry about though. I'm just going to sit that one there for a minute because that one is the one that needs the black on it. So I'm quite happy with the way that is sitting. Just snip that bit off the end. So what we need to do now, let me just cut.
Vanessa's late apparently, but she's going to watch the beginning at the end.
Don't you worry, Vanessa. We were chatting about jumpers and the weather for a few minutes, so you didn't miss a lot. Now then, I put that square back in there, didn't I? Let's take that one out. So it is the third one down that I'm using. I'm just popping it in my little cutter here, which is quite useful.
Yes, I'm fine, thank you, Philippa.
Yeah.
Just had tea.
It's just had tea, so it's gone a little bit. It's just reminding him that he doesn't need anything else to eat. For those that don't know, Mark's diabetic, but I think most people know. And he's got a Libra, which is the fabulous piece of kit that tells you all about your blood. Amazing, amazing, absolutely amazing. I just find the whole thing quite flabbergasting sometimes, really, even though we've been together. This is our 41st Christmas together, this one, coming up.
Is it? Jeez.
Excuse me. Did you hear that? Jeez. Hey, nothing. Yes. 41 Christmases this one will be together, and 38, 39 married. There you go. So, but yes, this the Libra is absolutely incredible. Now, what I am doing with this one, because I was going to do it with the other one, and then I thought, no, I won't. I'll see what it looks like. I'm actually putting a little bit of, it's just my waste crafty board or cardboard, you know, as we do.
Oh, Jeanette's come in and it's morning wherever she is.
Oh yes, hi Jeanette. She's in Australia.
Oh, that'll be the reason then.
Yes. I do hope the weather's better where you are. My Auntie Jill lives out there now, and she said, well, my great Auntie Jill actually, sorry. And she said you've had a lot of rain. You've had an awful lot of rain in Australia. I think you're in Australia, aren't you? Not New Zealand. Yeah, you'd be the same. Right, so that's got our little piece there, and you can see it's slightly raised because I've put that, obviously I've put a little bit of the raising, I call it the raising agent underneath, and I've also put it on the black so it makes it pop. Now what we need to do now is we need to turn it round and fold it back in, and the reason being, you'll see in a second. So I'm going to put this one here. Now, when you're putting the bits in on the edges, I always tend to go far too much glue in there. I tend to go. Oh, let's get it right. Look. Yeah, that's it. I tend to put the glue on the card rather than on the actual stamped image, because you know what's going to happen. You're going to get far too much, and then you're going to have glue all under here, and then it's going to be messy. So I think it's better if we do it like that, and not the other way. Now, I've actually got 1/2 of this one already cut from previously. Ah, but will it match? No, so we can't use that one, not on this one. There we go. So we'll use it on something else, so don't worry, it won't be a waste. So again, just onto the card, place it down. I'll just wipe my fingers, that was a bit naughty really. Doing it with my fingers. Right, so we've done that, that's our half, and then if you just turn it over, cut nice and close to your scored edge, and that's all lovely and neat. Now I could leave it like that if you wanted to, because you've got that sort of like an inverted square, but I think it's quite nice to do the top corners. So I think what we'll have is the blue. We could have two blues at both ends. Let's have a little look. If you do have a go at this, I've got my friend Sue. Okay, she had one of these little. You remember these from school? And she was using it in class the other day, and I went, oh, I haven't seen them for years. Years. Anyway, she said, oh gosh, she said, I've got loads at home. She said, I'll bring one in next time. She said, I've got a whole packet of them. And she did, and I tell you what, they're much more civilised than using your fingers when you're in public. Long are the days. Right, okay, so we've got our blue one there. It's matching, all matching, look. We've got everything all going in the same direction. I'm just wondering whether we ought to have, we've got a nice little pink bit.
I've just got a Kim and Catherine that's just joined us.
Oh, good evening, ladies. Thank you for popping in. Really, really good of you. It's such a busy time of year, isn't it? And I really appreciate it any time of year, but especially at the moment. We're just doing a bit of playing around, really. You know, doing a bit of pattern building and just having a bit of fun with the new stamp designs. It's actually quite nice to do anything but Christmas, although I do love Christmas, don't get me wrong, I'm not a bar humbug, but you know, when you've been making them for half a year, you do get to the point of wanting to actually do something else. And I think everybody who actually crafts for a living will agree with you. Right, so those bits I don't need. I'm going to use those on another card. Obviously I can do a different design, a different pattern, and it won't really matter. Now what we're going to do now is we're just going to take our stencil and put a little bit of just a bit of background interest, and I'm taking the colours. I'm not wanting to do it very dark. I'm basically wanting to do a bit of an interesting bit in the background using this favourite stencil that I always say to Mark, never be out of stock of. Honestly, I'm not concentrating there.
Any stock off what?
I never be out of stock of my favourite stencil,
Well,
just in case I mislay this one.
Exactly.
Right, so I made a bit of a faux pas there, so I'm going to just mask that off for a second, and then just ink that over, like so. And then you won't know, will you not? Well, you will, because you saw me do it. So, but anyway, so we'll just pop that over there, just on the edge. You can see I'm just being, just putting a little bit of interest on the background. You don't have to do this. If you like to be nice and clean on the background, you don't have to do this at all. I just think it looks really lovely. Just to bring in the colours of your stamping as well. Obviously I'm not using VersaFine Clair to ink up with. I am using Distress inks. This is ink that's already on my brush. I'm not re-inking at all because it's got plenty on it and I don't need to. So I'm just using this one next. Just going to pop that one there. Just pop. Yeah, it's got the orange on it. And if you want to do different colours, obviously you can do. That's no problem. I like to, I think it's quite nice just to coordinate it a little bit. Just got a little bit there, and that's a bit annoying. We'll have to put something on that now. Get a little dot very quickly. Let's see what colour I can. Oh, we've got a nice orange one. Look at that. But I can't just put one there, can I? I've got to put one somewhere else. Oh, nice pink one up here. And let's see. And a blue one, because we've got some blue. There we go. That solved that, didn't it? Right. There we go. So what we've got now is we've got our super card, got our pattern built, we've got our stenciling on, and I've already gone ahead with this because I know that you all are very familiar with the outline sentiment dies from Hazel, and if you're not, then there are actually 3 sets now, which is absolutely lovely. So you can mix up, if you're very lucky to have all the sets, you can mix up the words and make different sentiments. So I've gone ahead and I've actually cut just for you. There we go. Just got a bit of glue there, so that's it. Just nip that out. Just for you. And what I did was I took the Distress Ink colours that I've used around the edge, and I just got a scrap of card and just coloured up the piece of card in the Distress Ink colours in rows, and then I've die cut the top of the the actual words, and then the outline I've just done in the black, which actually marries up to this one. We don't need those for we need those for the next one. That's it. So that is our first offering. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the two together, because I know obviously there's, well, I've put glossy dots on there. Put glossy dots there.
They're all loving the words.
Do you like the words? Smashing. Because what I like to do, if you don't choose the obvious, I don't mean the obvious in a negative way, but there's sometimes we think of silver, gold for sentiments and things like that, because of course that goes with everything. But if you want it all to sort of like coordinate, this is just a really useful way of doing it. And all you need is just your scrap pieces that I know that you all keep. So just do that, and it all looks rather nice. Now the difference is, obviously I've done these all in the same direction, and I just mishap those in a sort of a different style. And for these I've just put a couple of little of the small black glossy dots, two small ones at top and bottom, and again just to coordinate with those. Whereas on this one, obviously nobody knows, but I had a little splot there, so I've covered it up with those. Okay, so that's our first one. So hopefully you enjoyed that one. We'll just move this one out, move it over so we've got a nice clean surface. Now this one. Now I love black and white. I love colouring. You know I love colouring. I spend hours colouring, but I do love black and white. A hint of grey on it with the pencil, but that pop of one colour. And on this one I've just chosen the pink. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do some obviously some pattern building, but we're going to mask out. So it's 6 by 6. Again, you could go bigger, no problem, absolutely no problem at all, but I would suggest, to make it easier for you, that you actually stick to a square. There's no reason why you can't have a different shape, but it wouldn't give you clarity of the squares. You'd have to cut some of the squares down, so that means that you wouldn't have the outline of every single square that you've actually stamped. I hope that makes sense. In fact, what I'll do is, this one, exactly what I'm talking about is this. I was happy with that being on the edge like that, because that's the pattern. But on this one, I wanted it to be nice and crisp and clear. So I didn't want to be cutting any pieces off. So a square really is what you're looking for on this one. So that's my card blank. Pop that up there. This is going to be my piece that I'm going to stamp onto, and then I've got a piece that I'm just got the tiniest black mat. So the piece that I'm stamping on is 5.5 inches. There we go. So let me get my stamp ready. So I've got this stamp, which is the other square stamp from obviously from the Blooming Gorgeous set. So we're looking at this one this time. But of course you could equally do it with this one, and definitely you could do it with that one. And I will do one with this one to show you. But obviously you'd have more squares and it would be slightly busier. But if you brought the cards down to a size, maybe to 5x5 or even 4x4 for a nice thank you card or whatever, that would be absolutely superb. Right, so what we're going to use on this one, we're going to use black. We're staying with the black, white and grey, so all the same tones. And now, what we also need, now, I will tell you, since we've moved, which is a few weeks now, so I've got no excuse, I have not come across my masking tape yet, as in my masking off tape. I've got a roll of it somewhere, and you can guarantee when I'm not looking for it, I'll find it. But I've got an answer to that. Right, so, and actually, the roll of masking off tape is actually, it's not the cheapest thing, but it does last quite a while. So what I decided was that I would just stamp one of these off. I think I've used the other stamp actually. Yes, I have. Yeah, I've just used that one on there. So I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use the one that I actually used. There's no reason, it doesn't matter, it's the same size, but I thought we'll use a different one. Here we go. Right. So I'm going to stamp that. This is just on copy paper. Needs to be a paper weight, not a card weight. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to put that out. Okay, just like so. Now you'll see I haven't gone onto the black line. It's important. If you are making a mask of any kind, obviously this is one of the most easiest because it's square, you do need to go as near to the line or near to the outer edge outline of the stamp as possible. Don't cut into the stamp because it won't give you a true mask. Now, so obviously it's not sticky. Now I could hold it and I could stamp it and I could mess about like that. But then I thought, I know what I've got. I've got a repositionable runner, tape runner. And absolutely fabulous for this. So repositionable, they're just ideal. So it's removable. So basically, if you got it on, you know, you're using it, you can actually rub it off. Primarily, these are used a lot for scrapbooking, because with scrapbooking, you tend to do a layout. If anybody does scrapbooking, which I absolutely love doing, I don't have enough time to do it, but you lay things out very much so, and then you maybe move things around a little bit to build the story of the actual scrapbook page, and you do use removable ones for that, 12 metres, so, you know, I thought, right, what I can do is I could just use a little bit of that on the back and it won't stick completely onto my stamp. We got these in actually recently on the website because we didn't have them. We didn't have them in stock. We just had the usual tape runner, which is the same make, which I really like. But I thought, you know, we're going to get some repositionable ones because I do use them quite a bit. So yeah. So I was really, I thought it was a bit of a light bulb moment this afternoon when I couldn't find my my masking film. Right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to go into the middle, but I'm not measuring. I'm not measuring. What you could do if you really, really wanted to, you could do a cross and then you could measure that as your middle. But do you know what? We don't need to. In fact, if you wanted to, you could purposely go away from the middle, because there's no right or wrong with this at all. Okay, so I'm just stamping that down. Beautiful stamp. Do you know, that stamp on its own is right in the middle with a nice embossed white dry embossing edge, and maybe one around the edge with a little sentiment. Wouldn't that be absolutely gorgeous? Anyway, that's for another day. Right, so now what I need to do, I need to stamp that. What you also always need to think of when you're doing a pattern and you want and you're masking it off, you need to do the one that's always going to be on the top. So this is why I'm going into the middle, and then what we're going to do, we're going to place this down. Now remember, this is not it's not this glue roller that I'm using, it's actually the removable one. So when I place this over the actual, it doesn't matter because it's square, so wherever I put it, I will do it properly though. Here we go. Match it up, pop it on, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to build around like so. So then we're going to go over the top of our square. Okay, so that's saving me holding that down, putting my stamp down, possibly wiggling it about, and then maybe getting a little bit of a shadow, which we don't want. And then you see what you've got obviously is your stamp at the background, on the background, you see, which is perfect. This is what you want. So then we're going to pop that straight back on there, so you can keep using it. But if you're doing a really big pattern and that one piece doesn't stops being sticky, then you can just run a little bit more of the tape over it.
Philippa says she's doing cascards on Tuesday.
I will need to look and learn then, because you know I struggle with keeping.
What's cast?
Clean and simple. Yes, yeah, clean and simple. Now it's not as in, because I think people get offended if you say, oh, that's a beautiful cascade, but what we don't mean is that it's simple as in simplistic. It's simple as in it is a beautiful simple design that is clean. In other words, you don't throw everything and is anti at it. You just have a nice, clean and simple, and in fact that would be just ideal, but of course I'm not leaving it like that. So I'll put another one there. Now I'm not going to go, I don't want 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, because I don't want that sort of pattern. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to put this one over the one that I've just done.
That'll be strictly, won't it?
Sorry?
That will not be on Saturday night, strictly.
What's that?
1 2 3 1.
Oh, 1 2 3 1 2 3. Oh yes. Strictly Final. Who's watching? Who's watching? We make a night of it. We go round to Mark's mum and dad's and just behave. I know it's nearly Christmas, but just behave yourself. Right, Julie will ban you. Right, so I'll go back to what I was going to say. We make a night of it. We go round to Mark's mum and dad's, and we have tea round there, and we watch the Strictly Final. We've done it for years now. Stop it snoring, Mark. Mark will take me and he will stay, but he, oh now then, you see, look, this is not, it's got a, can you see there where it's just picked up a little bit of the ink as we're going along? Just put a little bit more on, and then you can still use the same bit. There we go, just pop that on there. There we are. Yes, Mark will sit and watch. He pretends that he doesn't like it.
I'm good at pretending.
I think that he actually does really like it, but he's just not saying. What about Brian, Philippa? Or Brian, you tell us. Are you watching Strictly?
Yeah, come on, Brian.
I know who we want to win. We want Chris to win. Chris and Diane. Absolutely, unbelievably amazing what that gentleman has, well, what Diane has done. Oh, just terrific. And it's been, I'm going to keep that on there. Okay, and I am going to take that one over there a little bit so it's not quite so formal. Stamp that down. Now
Oh
then,
no, Brian, don't watch it. Brian, don't watch it.
Brian! Do you not watch Strictly? Now then, just there. Didn't quite get that where it should have been. But that's alright because I'm not going to worry unduly because I've got a very fine pen.
Brian washes up or plays cod, whatever that is.
Plays what, sorry?
Cod.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, no, that's a code for something.
That sounds like fishing. No, it sounds like going to get your chippy tea, that does.
Yeah.
No doubt he'll tell us. Plays cod. Is that a PlayStation thingy type thing? I'm going to do one more. I just want to make sure that it is not going over.
Call of Duty.
Oh,
Said
Call of Duty. Who said it?
Shelley.
Oh, Shelley. Oh, I suppose. I suppose Corey plays it, does he? Right. Okay. Now you can discard this. You don't need it anymore. But it's a piece of copy paper, so we don't need to worry. Now, the next thing we do with this. My apologies. I've got another little one there. There we go. The next thing that you need to do with this is to actually create some shadow. So if you see the two together, it looks nice. It looks very nice. It is actually nice and clean and simple, and you wouldn't do amiss if you left it like that. But I do want to just add a little bit of something else. So just be mindful where your wet ink is still. And all I'm going to do is I'm not going to do it all because obviously what time, we would just have a chance to do the blue card, so I'm just going to do a little bit and just do it into the corners. Now I will tell you, I'm no artist, and as in I light and shade and all that, you know, I admire everybody that can do it. But all I'm doing is I'm just adding a little bit in the corners, the top corners, and then I would carry on doing that. And also I'll do it in the middle flower, do a little tiny bit just coming out. This is just a graphic pencil, 3B, doesn't matter really. It is a blendable pencil, as in it will move a little bit. All right. So you want something that will move a little bit, but you don't have to go fancy and get anything expensive. And then this is just a paper stump, and then all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to blend out that corner a little bit. And what it does is it blends it out so it's nice and smooth into the corner. And then, so if we do this one here, sorry, it squeaks a little bit. That's why you only need to do a little bit in the corner, because when you actually blend it out, it just does stretch it out that bit more. Can you see there? And then into the middle, just a little bit like so. There we go. And I would go all the way round and just, corners here, there. No rhyme or reason as to where I've put them. I do tend to put them on the corners and that sort of thing, so it makes it look a little bit, I mean, you could go all the way around and blend it all the way in, but it gives it some little bit of a 3D effect. And also just, I do go in the flowers. I didn't go in the leaves because I felt that they was...
It defines the edges a little bit.
It does define the edges. Does it look alright? Do we approve?
Defined.
Yeah, yeah. It makes it look a little bit more extra rather than. I mean, obviously, what you could do is once you've got your pattern,
as well,
it does a little bit, doesn't it?
Here,
What you could do, of course, once you've got your pattern, you can colour your squares in. There's no reason why you can't colour, and it wouldn't spoil it. It's just that I wanted to show you the monochrome idea, and you know, using the pencil and the paper stump.
You can see the difference between both of them when you put them together.
You can't yeah. Is that hopefully that's what everybody's getting there. So you've got that, you can see. I know I've only just put a little bit on, but and then all I've done is I've just gone along and with that one pop of colour just popped a colour. It doesn't matter what colour it is, because all at the moment you've only got black and white. So that's our second little idea. Okay, hopefully you liked that one. Now this one, like I said, about 6:15 this evening, just like me, honestly, this is so me, I thought, I think I really want to do something with the hexagon as well. I know, we'll make an aperture, which we have. I've done that already to save, because I can't do that in my little machine. Save me getting up and down. I know you wouldn't mind, but it just saves a bit of time. So I've got my aperture all cut. Now this set, I'm going to bring this in now, is from the Dinky Hexagons. So, oh, you don't get two, you just get the one. I've got two sets. It's just that we use them an awful lot. We use them in workshops, and it's so much easier sometimes to have two sets. So, the Dinky Hexagons, same principle as the squares. With these, you get a lovely little flower in the middle, which is fabulous, which of course is separate. With each one, it will cut the middle out apart from, so this one has got this lovely embossed edge to it, as you can see on the die there. This outside one and this one will actually cut that framework out for you as well, which is fabulous. I love these. I love hexagons anyway. I just think they're such a neat and tidy way of using any cards. So the one that we've used is it this one? Yes, that one. And of course you do get that that pops out, and also you get the framework there. So when you cut the aperture out with this die, you will get obviously your actual aperture. You'll get your piece that's come out of it, and you'll get your actual framework. So I love that. I love that idea. I think it's fantastic. So we are going to use the framework, so we'll just put that to one side. Now then, let's see if I can replicate what I did. Now then, where's my square? Here's my square. Right, so as you can see, the square is smaller, and it's on white. Let me just get some black. I've always got black next to me. There we go, that's better. So as you can see, the square, the hexagon is smaller, and it would look fabulous if you put a piece of black at the back of it. But we're going to use the frame afterwards, and then we're going to put the frame in there. But we're going to stamp that one first. Okay, so just put that there if we need it again. So what we're going to do is on the on this set, where is it? It's here. Where is it? Put it on my desk. Oh, blow me down with a feather. It's here somewhere because I only had it a few minutes. Well, I've got the stamps of it. Right, well, we've got the set. There are, that's the largest one. It is definitely here somewhere. Would you just grab one off stop just so that I can show everybody, please?
Yes.
Sorry, I know I'm a nuisance. We are at the unit, obviously. I'm not going to send him down the road for one. Let's see, that's right. Yeah. So the hexagons obviously match up with the set, which no doubt I will find as soon as I'm not looking for it. It's on my desk somewhere. And
I've got 2 left.
oh, we've only got 2 left. Oh, I've got 2 left. Right, so this is the set, and this is the Blooming Delightful A6 set, which obviously came out at the same time. And you get the larger hexagon, and you get the next size down, which is the size that I'm using the larger one. I'm not using the larger one, sorry. I'm using the next size down, which is this one, and then I'm going to use this one, which is on my block already, which is also the same size as that one. And then there's that beautiful smaller leaf, which I absolutely love. And actually, I've got a little leaf here that I stamped up earlier, and I was colouring it in for something. Yeah, fabulous, really lovely one. I think that one, if you stamp it all along as a border or as a frame, would be absolutely fantastic. So that's the actual set itself. Right, so I'm using the Paradise blue. I did actually use a slightly darker blue for the other one, but I thought I would make a change and do this one. Right, and then we're going to stamp. Now, 2 ways of doing this. You could take the actual die cut to the stamp, which I'm going to do now. So once it's down, it's down. Or you can hover, obviously, the stamp over, or the easiest way, obviously, because I don't ever want to do it the easiest way. The easiest way is stamp it on a piece of card and then use your die to cut it out. Alright, but I've done it the opposite way on just to be a little bit more organised. But, so that's that. Not sure if it's more organised or more clumsy really. So, and then I've got the smaller of those two, there's 2 of those as I've just shown you. So what will happen is, this will sit on my card blank when we do it. That's going to sit in the middle, and then the frame's going to sit on the outside, okay? It'll all come together in a second. What we're going to do now is we're going to build the pattern around it. See if I can get it to work again. Normally, if I'm pattern building, I have a bit of a practice and then think, oh yeah, that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these. There's 2 leaves on the actual flower itself, all right, and I'm going to try and keep these going in one direction. Now, obviously, this line is not going to match this line because this is a much smaller stamp, much smaller hexagon. But what I am going to do is I'm going to try and get it in the middle. Nobody's going to take a ruler to it, right? Don't be thinking, it's a millimetre more than it is there. Don't worry about it. Crafting is for enjoyment, not for worrying. So then we're going to turn it round. Always ink it up again. Don't think, oh well, I've got enough ink on that. You mustn't think like that, because it really won't give you the beautiful print that you're looking for. Right, so again, just hover it down. Once it's down, it's down. Just hover as long as you can to get it in the right place. You've got the line. You've got the line to be going on with. Right, and then we're going to just keep going like that. Keeping the leaf going in the same direction. Can you see what I tend to take these fingers I'm holding back, because it's creating a little bit of a sort of a support system for when I'm laying the stamp down. But obviously what you can do is you can use your stamp press if you prefer. When I'm pattern building like this, I much prefer to use, it's my choice, I much prefer to use my blocks, because I find that it's a little bit I'm just used to my blocks, and it's a bit quicker. I do love my stamp press, don't get me wrong, it's always next to me, but yeah, so turn it round again, just holding that just there, stamping it down. Now then, if I've got a stamp press, you see, that wouldn't have happened, would it? And I'm going quick because I want to show you this one before. I didn't intend to show you this one because I did the 2 and I thought I can't keep everybody too long. That's it. Right, so now I've got all the way round the edge, which is quite nice. I could put that in there, and that'd be quite clean and simple, Philippa. For me. I just can't help myself when it comes to ink and stuff, and then I just get like carried away. Right, so now we need to go to the next layer. So I don't want you to worry if you go over the edge. All I'm doing now is I'm just putting that line on the bottom here onto, as best I can, onto the top points of this. Right, can you see? I'm being messy, but it's because I'm rushing, I shouldn't. Normally, obviously, if I'd got mess like that on it, I would start again. So we're not, whereas we were concerned about not going over the edge with the black and white one, we're not concerned with this one at all. But if you made the card bigger, it wouldn't go over the edge, okay? But it was only a little bit of a play time, this one, so just pop that one. Sorry, I'm not putting my head in. Sorry. Had to worry about that for a while. Oh, can you remember, Julie, when we were constantly looking at that blooming root cam? Honestly, it's a nightmare. Mind you, I am quite lucky. I'm not too grey at the moment. There we go. For those that don't know, root cam was what we used to call the overhead camera when we used to do the TV, and honestly, oh my goodness me, it used to pick up some bits and pieces that you didn't want. Right, so I'm just moving it round. Now I know that you can get fancy gadgets for doing this, but you know what? If you've got a stamp press, or if you've got a block and you're happy to play around, you don't need fancy gadgets. As in, you know, I mean, it's very nice if you've got one and you can, you know, you've got one to use. Absolutely lovely. But if you can do it without, it means that you can actually use that money to buy something else with. So what I'm doing now, I'm just going to stamp this one and then I'm going to explain. So I've gone all the way around the edge. So first of all we did the circle, butting it up to this edge. Then we actually went onto the corners of here, on here and here, and did it like that, and that will give you this piece here, look, you see. And now what I'm doing is I'm going these two corners, this corner and that corner, but what will happen is you're going to go half in this gap, and so it will go over, but you're going to get this little, like this little V indentation on this one. But like I said, it was a play, so I need to slightly perfect it a little bit more. Hold on, where am I? So that one, oh yes, I do need to do this one, because although it's right over the edge, and it will only be the tiniest bit, it still is going to affect the pattern. Right, so now we've got the it's basically finding the V, isn't it? Popping it over, pressing it down. So it's keeping that, we've got that V, and what we're creating this like little shape there. If you can see it, it sort of makes sense. But this is Brucey bonus, this one. So if so if it didn't work, it was just a bit of a playtime one, really. Yeah, here we go. Look, so we've got our shapy bit there. Look, and the corners. It will need trimming down. So hold on. So we've got shapy bit there. That will need trimming down there a little bit, won't it? And so if we do this one over here, it's sort of roughly, but I think you're getting the idea what I'm trying to. There you go. Sorry, I just had to stop talking then.
Oh no.
Yes, Mark, before you say anything. Right, so now then, where are we? So we've got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bits there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think it's pretty much. If we did one in that corner, but I think what we're going to have to do is. No, I'm not going to do one in that corner because it's going to need to be trimmed down anyway. It's sort of works, but I just need to just tweak it a little bit more to make sure. Let me just look, see where I've got that one there. I've got the 2 hearts. Just bring it back in a little bit. There. So then, what we're going to do, what we would do is, I'll put it on there, then it can. You would pop that piece in the middle. Now obviously you could do it a different colour if you wanted to. I quite like sticking with the same blue, but because now when you put the frame in, look, because it's fitted exactly in the right place, the frame just fits beautifully, and it sort of like takes off the I mean obviously you're not going to see the black because the black it's not on there, but I'm putting it on there so that you can just see what's what. Okay, so if you can see now, you've got a bit of a pattern going around that bit. I'm not going to stick it because this isn't perfect yet. Well, it's not perfect by any chance, but I wanted just to show you just another little way with the hexagons. So if you can see, what we've got is, I'm going to just bring this in and just point the pattern out. So we've got these here, so we've got the middle obviously, then we've got these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we've got these 2 pointy bits, I'm going to call them. 2 pointy bits, look. 2 pointy bits. And then you've got these little like crowns in the corner. Can you see these little well, I think they look like crowns. Yeah, in the corner, look, that bit and that bit is the same. So it's a pattern. So you built that pattern up, but we're just using the one stamp. So if we just bring all 3 back
Looks
in.
like a tile, apparently.
A tile, yeah. Yes, I think it's quite a Mediterranean type tile, isn't it? But we saw, and I took photographs, honestly, you know, you know when you do something, not just for a living, but for a hobby, and you're really passionate about it, like obviously we are about crafting. It goes wherever you go, doesn't it? Now when we were in Tunisia, the tiles in the hotel were absolutely phenomenal, and I was taking pictures of the tiles, and I'm sure if anybody saw me they thought,
yep,
what is she doing? Anyway, it doesn't matter, I don't mind what people think, I know what I'm doing. Well, most of the time. There we go. So we've got this one, we've got that one, and we've got this one. So little bit of pattern building. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. I will just turn you back round again just to say our good nights. Obviously any questions at all, you just ask. The blue one was a bit of an experiment, and I will just work on that one a little bit more. But I think maybe, hopefully you've picked up a little bit of something. But it's the same principles, straight lines. Try and match up your straight lines, try and match up, slightly go over your pattern so that you're nice and tight to the pattern. And remember, reusable tape runner if you don't have the mask it or whatever, or if you just, like me, you can't find it. But I'm fine now because I've got the reusable one. Okay, so we'll just pop you back round, if that's all right. Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Yep, we're there. You can see Mark's herd of Highland cattle coming in for. We've herded them in for the night. Oh, excuse me. I'm a bit rough about the edges. I've been outside and it was raining before, and I shouldn't have gone outside. Right, so yes. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. A few little ideas, nothing very complicated at all, but it just gives you just a little bit of thought into how. Yeah, the Highland cows, Shelley, they're all on his desk. Don't ask, honestly. They're for a Powertex project in January, and we're just very ahead of ourselves, which is unlike us normally. But yes, so we've got, so any questions at all, obviously, just fire away. I'm sure that anybody that was obviously Philippa was in tonight, and obviously our Julie was. And thank you, Julie, for these gorgeous stamps, because I know that they will just, well, they have flown for us. We're very privileged to be a stockist, as you know, and they have been flying, and it's been absolutely wonderful. I do think they are an all year, all round for lots and lots of occasions, and I think that it is something that, and also if you do have your hexagons, dinky hexagons and dinky squares, do coordinate them together, because you're going to just get hundreds and hundreds of different designs. Okay, so sorry I went a little bit over. I do apologise. I will. We'll sign off now. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Julie. Thank you ever so much, Julie, for asking me to do the live again. You know how much we love doing it, and I'm sure that I'll be in touch with lots of you beforehand. But those that I'm not going to be, because I'm not doing any more lives now till January 2025 for Julie, and just wish everybody the happiest of Christmases, and hope the new year brings lots of good things and lots of nice crafted things as well.
Yes.
All right, well, say good night, and thank you ever so much, everybody, for joining. We really appreciate it. Okay, good night.
Bye.